Betrayal doesn't always come crashing down like a thunderstorm. Sometimes, it arrives quietly, like a knife sliding between your ribs before you even realize you've been cut. For me, it happened in a single moment, in front of people I respected, when the two people I trusted most revealed just how little I meant to them. I had been working at my company for nearly 8 years. I wasn't rich, but I was steady, reliable, a man who believed in hard work and loyalty. My wife, Clara, knew how much that job meant to me. She knew how hard I fought to earn the respect of my boss, Mr. Harrington, a man who controlled my future with the flick of his hand. One evening at a company dinner, everything changed. The room was filled with laughter, the clinking of glasses, the smell of expensive food I rarely allowed myself to indulge in. Clara sat beside me, dressed beautifully, as though she belonged in that glittering world more than I did. Halfway through the night, Mr. Harrington raised his glass. "Daniel," he said, smiling, "you've been a good employee. But tonight, I think I'll take something of yours." He pointed. At first, I thought he was joking, maybe referring to my seat, or even my drink. But then I saw it. The smug curl of his lips, the way his eyes lingered far too long on Clara. "Tonight she's mine," he said. The table erupted in awkward chuckles, as if unsure whether it was a joke. My heart pounded, waiting for Clara to snap back, to defend me, to say something, anything. But she didn't. She looked at me once, then at him and said calmly, "I agree." And just like that, she stood up, took his hand, and walked away. I sat frozen in my chair, the sound of their footsteps echoing louder than the chatter around me. Conversations picked back up, laughter resumed, but I was no longer in that room. I was somewhere else, stuck between disbelief and humiliation. The woman I had built a life with had just stood up in front of colleagues, clients, and strangers and chosen another man. My boss of all people. And worse than that, she hadn't hesitated. I forced myself to sit through the rest of the evening, my hands trembling under the table. I smiled when someone looked my way, nodding as though nothing was wrong. Inside, I was on fire. My pride had been ripped to shreds. When I got home later that night, the house felt hollow. Her shoes were gone from the hallway. Her perfume no longer lingered in the bedroom. My phone buzzed with a single message from Clara. "Don't wait up." That was the moment when something inside me hardened. I could have begged her to come back. I could have confronted Harrington, risked my career in a storm of rage. But instead, I chose silence. Because silence is sharper than shouting. It lingers longer. Over the next few weeks, I played my part perfectly. At work, I nodded at Harrington's smug grins, answering his questions with the same professionalism as always. When Clara returned home to collect clothes, I didn't fight. I let her believe I was broken, defeated. But behind closed doors, I was planning. Every long night, every sleepless hour, I thought about what revenge really meant. It wasn't about yelling in her face or throwing a punch at my boss. No, it had to be something deeper, something that would remind them both that betraying me was the biggest mistake of their lives. And soon the opportunity arrived, an opportunity too perfect to ignore. The opportunity came wrapped in Harrington's arrogance. He had been eyeing a major deal with an overseas partner, a contract that would not only secure his reputation, but also double the company's value. I had spent months preparing the groundwork, building relationships, and gathering the necessary data. Harrington depended on me to close it, but he didn't see it that way. To him, I was just another pawn. Disposable. Forgettable. So when he called me into his office and said, "Daniel, I'll need you to finalize the deal next week. Don't screw it up," I smiled politely, nodded, and walked out with my plan fully formed. That night, Clara appeared again, this time draped in jewelry I knew he had bought her. She smirked as she collected the last of her belongings, saying, "You were never enough for me. He gives me what you can't." I didn't respond. I didn't need to, because she had no idea that within days, her new life would start crumbling. When the meeting with the overseas partners came, I presented flawlessly. Every chart, every number, every projection was delivered with precision. But here's the twist. I had already accepted a position with those very partners. Weeks earlier, I had quietly negotiated my own deal, offering them not only my expertise, but also proof of Harrington's financial misconduct. records Clara herself had carelessly left behind. By the time Harrington realized what had happened, it was too late. The contract was signed, but with me, not with him. His empire began to collapse, his credibility shredded overnight. And Clara? She didn't get her fairy tale ending. When the money dried up and Harrington's influence vanished, so did the luxury. She tried calling me once, leaving a shaky voicemail. "Daniel, can we talk?" I deleted it without listening to the rest. Revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't messy. It was simply watching them lose everything they had stolen from me, while I walked away stronger, freer, and finally untouchable. Because the best revenge is not destroying them. It's building a life so far above theirs that they can only look up and regret.